Good evening. Good evening.
Yes.
First, let me thank Rajagiri Media Trust and Sreekumar Raghavan. This itself shows how important the values he is asking us to discuss today, competitiveness in a balanced way and competency matters, because to sustain for so many years this program, in each session 4 panelists and then the synergy panel, you see how many hundreds of people he would have connected. So that's basically an attitude, and so I wish him the best, and I also want to thank him, because the most important thing, one core skill one has to have is appreciate others. Say thank you. If you say thank you and please, that solves the tense situation. Okay. The synergy had asked me to do, and what education should do, is there is an educational relativity theorem. I'm going to propose it. I don't think anybody would have done it, but I'm taking a bold step here. E equal to MC square. Everybody knows it. What is big thing here? But that is something which Rajagiri Media can be proud of. There again competition, right? Throwing something new. So they called a guy from United States who is growing old day by day, but not by heart. And that panel and the discussion on the 93rd roundtable discussion came up with a new concept, E equal to MC square, where education of the future or education should focus on 3 aspects which are not mutually exclusive. That's what I'm going to talk about it. Competency comes out of balanced competition, and that should be available to all. So luckily, I am able to cover what all, whether it's Dr. Meenakshi or Dr. Hema or Dr. Prasanna, who opened up with a story. I'll finish with a story too. So education should be accessible to most and many, mass, and that should nurture certain competency. It need not be only core expertise or core professional competency, but that comes if you motivate. You cannot give something new to somebody, but you are here to aid and be an enabler, which teachers have to do. So in an education system, so we cannot say that if you are not competent, you cannot be part of it. That means you are avoiding somebody. So we have to be inclusive. Education should be inclusive and be a platform to provide opportunity, mass times competency development times motivation. In other words, inducing competitiveness in a fair and positive way. So we have proposed a new educational equation, E equal to MC square. And that competency is not only bottled into your subject matter, whether you are a math teacher or expertise in math or physics, it doesn't matter. In this evolving world, the education system right from primary school should train people to be a global citizen scholar. In other words, an expertise in math or science alone will not get you somewhere. That's what happened. Most of the engineering colleges are vacant now. There was one particular time where there was a demand, so that expertise was used. Then how do you use the expertise? You need to be trained. I'm not saying that you should be master of all, at least more than one skill set. So I'm trying to satisfy my answer right from Dr. Meenakshi to Dr. Gopakumar here. And of course to Dr. Sreekumar Raghavan as well. To me, he's a doctor. If somebody has coordinated this many, multiple theses has come out. So this round table, I'm taking a liberty as a senior faculty, as a tenured full professor from a tier 1 research incentive university, that we have to confer him a doctor for his skill. That skill set is coordinating. Okay. So E equal to MC square. So if you look at what is going on, competency comes if you provide good competition. So how it happens? I am a father of a middle schooler. So no matter what me or my wife tells him, he's not going to do. I send him to a piano lesson, I send him to a violin lesson, because as a parent, we want. But he is not going to follow that religiously until otherwise his own peers in his school does it. Why should I do that, Appa? My friends are not doing. So if he sees his peers doing, That is a competition. He wants to participate in inter-university leagues in math. He wants to go and compete in tennis because his own peers in subject matter where he is interested, it is in other words a competition, but that competition he is not going to take it as a forced competition from a parent because he is seeing his own peers doing. So that's what I'm saying. Competition is not forcing, is not judging, is not grading. It is a motivational factor among the peers. That's very important. Kids tend to do things which peers do. If they go on TikTok more, the kids are going to do TikTok more. So that's a motivation. So competition is needed, fair and balanced approach. When competition comes, when he says John, Jack and Joseph or Raghavan playing well, he says, Appa, I need to match his skill set. So put me in some football, put me in some false tennis coaching. So that is again enhancing competition. That's what I said. Einstein is very valuable, not only in physics. Einstein is valuable everywhere. So C square. So when you are able to nurture and provide resource, that is aiding competition. Competition should be an enabler. So that when that C is being given as a resource, not as a top-down approach, resource, then the competency increases in multiple facets, looking at its peers, looking where his peers are doing. So if somebody is going and taking a SAT exam or a NEET exam, then that particular student will do it because his next seat neighbor on either side is doing. One is excelling in sport, another is excelling in core competency. Then this kid wants to at least imitate them because they are the role models. Not somebody sitting in a Sweden Uppsala University is going to be a role model. So fair and balanced competition as an enabler will enhance competency. And what the system should do, the education should do, is try its best to provide these resources. That is what the education should be accessible. Otherwise, the country will not improve. Today, as we speak, Prime Minister Modi is in New York and he is going to Washington. What is his duty? What is the activities he is doing? He has been meeting people of different sort, whether from Elon Musk to Raymond Dalio, or to a Grammy Award winner, singer. So he is trying to see that he could reach all aspects of people as a motivation, and he is also talking to everybody to attract resources to India. I'll tell you one particular story. Raymond Dalio is one of the multi-billionaire in the world and he is the chairman of Bridgewater Associates, hedge funds in New York. And he says this thing, what India has strength, the strong point is, it's not me, the strong point India has is it's good quality education at low cost. See, what Mr. Raghavan put us together is actually paying dividends now. See, it need not be. So cost is a measure of competitiveness. I don't have to provide an education at the level of cost of Harvard or Princeton or Yale or Stanford. As long as you are able to provide a good quality education at a sustainable cost. That's what India, we are taking pride. It's not from me. It is from one of the world's richest person, very successful person. And how does its success come? Again, answering Gopakumar's point here, he himself admits that he was not an excelling student in a school. Then he built his career because he was able to see one summer, I guess he went and worked when he was in the college. He didn't go to Harvard for his first degree. Of course, he had a master's from Harvard. That's a different story. This is a story because, again, this forum is motivating me to come and tell story because of Dr. Prasanna. So what happens is he took one summer off and went to work in New York Stock Exchange. There he sees his own peers, his own competitors, how they are excelling. And there he goes. One of the successful hedge fund group in the world, Bridgewater Associates. So he has seen, although he admits that he was not a very, very excelling top grade student in the school, it doesn't matter. Here competition helped him, seeing among the peers in the subject matter of his interest. He wanted to be in investing. So he went to see people who are in the trade, saw them, wanted to imitate them, in fact wanted to excel them. When he did, that motivation helped him to go and seek those competencies. He went to New York Stock Exchange, had a practical experience, his competency increased. when its competency increased, he is now a successful man. So competition is important. Competition should be viewed as a motivator, and as a parent, as a teacher, as a good citizen of the society, we have to do our best to make competition as an enabler, enhance the skills, global skill set, not only one particular subject matter skill set, and that should be made available to all. That is what institutions from Vadodara, so Raghavan has brought people from Vadodara to Mumbai to down south in Trichy, and I don't know where other folks have come on the call. So distribute it and tap the resources to be an enabler. So I'll finish with a small nice saying in rhyming in Tamil, but I will translate it. There was a very famous Tamil poet. Of course, he wrote a lot of cine poems. His name was Wali. Sreekumar can understand a little bit Tamil. He says, Oosi Vikkaravan. I'll translate it in English. You see, that is again a competency. How to relay complex things in a nice way. Oosi Vikkaravanukkum ookam koduttal thekku maram virpan. So a person who is just selling a nail head, if you motivate him, Oosi means nail head. Yes, non-competitive product. Okay, but then what? If you motivate him, hey, you are very good in this, why don't you try to do something else? Oosi kuttaravanukkum ookam koduttal thekku virpan. Why he asked thekku? Because thekku is a teakwood. So he starts from selling a nail which goes to make a cabinet, some steel cabinet. But then you can translate yourself from being a person who just simply sells a nail, which goes into a big product like kitchen cabinet, high-end kitchen cabinet. You will be able to sell one day the kitchen cabinet made out of teakwood. Teakwood is a golden, it's a yard scale, right? So that's what it is. Oosi kuttaravanukkum ookam koduttal thekku maram virpan. It's not me, it's Kavinyar Wali. So likewise, let us try our best to tap the resources, because the resources are finite. You can only do what you can. So tap the resources, be an enabler, and be a person who could distribute and make this system accessible. So E equal to MC square. And again want to thank Sreekumar Raghavan and all the people in his team for doing this as a yajna. His 93 session is not a joke. So that itself he is trying to live what I said, this equation. He is trying to share the knowledge. And I also thank many panelists in his many round session who have taken time and come and given their viewpoints. Okay, thank you.